In this video, I'm going to show you how to cover up red marks and acne scars, so all you gotta do is stay tuned. Hey everyone, I'm going to show you, I learned a quick technique actually from TikTok, where I learn everything these days, for covering up these kind of marks. I have a whole bunch here. My skin just went crazy. I think it's the masks that I'm wearing because it tends to be right here. And if that's happening to you too, I got some tips for covering it up. The first thing you want to do, let's just jump right in, is make sure that you wash your face. Obviously, I've been using vitamin C, so I've been testing these AMPOULES, and go ahead and subscribe or find that video. It might not be out yet by the time this one is, but I'm gonna be testing this and see if it lightens these up or what it does just to my general skin appearance overall. So I use this, a bit of vitamin C in the morning, and then I go in with an emulsion, a K-Beauty style emulsion. So I've been using this, and that's just a really light liquid moisturizer. It is almost like water. It is very, very watery, and I just drop that in to my skin on my face. I'll just rub this into my hands. And then the next thing I do, and I think this is why I broke out, I stopped using this and I restarted again, and already my skin is happy. I think in the month over the summer that I stopped using this, I got a lot of breakouts, also because I was probably just sweaty and stuff like that, but I shouldn't have stopped. This provides a really nice barrier. It's pretty thick though, so it's not for everybody. If your skin's already quite oily, probably not for you, but if you have mature skin, as I do, or dry leaning skin, this stuff is a miracle. This is La Roche-Posay's Cicaplast Baume B5. One of the very first videos I ever made, actually years ago, was about this, and actually it still does. It still gets a little bit of traffic. This stuff is white. It is super thick. And I'm actually just gonna rub this on my elbow because I have some dry patches on my elbow. So it does a good job really for damaged skin. So that's what I do. That's what I've done to prep my face. I let that dry down a bit. Let's hop right into what we're gonna do to cover up these red spots. I use Tarte Shapetape Concealer. This is a bit lighter than my skin tone. If you don't have this, that's okay, but this stuff is amazing. The pigment is so thick and rich, it really covers, and it covers up the red. So that's why it's great. If you don't, if you have a stick foundation, that will do too. I've been using this as well, but it's not quite my shade. But what I would do is just liberally go over the areas where you need it and let it dry. So I'm gonna do that right now with the concealer. So here we go. I'm gonna go in. I do not use a beauty blender to disperse. I'm gonna see if I can kind of match the dots to a degree. Doesn't really have to be because I'm gonna blend this all out after, right? So I put those in there and I can see them. This side is not, hope you can see, this side is not quite as bad, but there's still quite a bit of red, so I'm gonna go in there. So once you've got it on, and you can go a little bit more too, I mean, so I've got all my dots on. I like to use a really thick bristled brush. This one has a really densely packed, this is just an inexpensive e.l.f. brush, but it's very densely packed fibers, and they're short. This is called the triangular buffing brush. If you don't have this, I would say you can use your fingers as well, but the key is, I find, when you use your fingers, moisturize your hands first. That way they're not picking up and absorbing all the product you just put on. So when you moisturize your hands first, and mine are, because you saw me just rub these products in, what will happen then is they don't pick up as much product because they're moisturized. So I'm just gonna dot this in like crazy, right? So you'll just see me dab this in, and it's gonna look not the greatest, right? When I'm done, don't rub, just pat. And if it were your fingers, you would just pat, right? Instead, and just get that all in. So that's the idea. And then you're gonna do on this side. And you notice I've let a little time elapse, and that's actually okay, because what we're gonna do, what really the secret is, and this is looking quite stippled still, and what you can do to fix it is just press it a little bit with your fingers, not too much, because you don't want to take it all away. You don't want to erase what you've just done. Right, I can see that I didn't blend it too good there. So you're kind of blending to a degree, but really just patting in place. You can use this, or you can use your fingers, just gently, lightly. Then you just gotta let it dry. So I'm gonna, and that's the thing I think people don't remember. They don't remember to let it dry, and that's why some people say this doesn't work. Gotta let this dry, so I will be back in 2 minutes. I'll probably just pop out, grab myself my coffee, and I'll come back, and then it'll be dry. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, I'm back with coffee as promised. I've let this dry. You can already see, let me come closer, that it did a pretty good job of covering the red. The red's pretty covered up, and that's thanks to the formulation of Tarte's Shapetape. I use, in case you're interested, 20S Light Sand. I think it's a little too light for me. When I use it under here, it doesn't look the best, but I find it works really well right here. Does it have to be lighter, I mean, than your skin tone? I think it just has to cover the red. That's the most important part. That's why this was effective for me, because this is not lighter than my skin tone. This is my skin tone, but it blocks out the red. And the key is also just to have really moisturized skin. Otherwise, the concealer will kind of cling in a bad way to any dry spots, because those red marks are kind of dry. Eventually they will peel and lift off, which is gross. Okay, so I'm gonna go in now with Revlon Colorstay. I've made a whole video about testing these, and these are pretty, 220 and 240 are pretty much the same color. They're very close in shade, but that's what I use. This is the normal to dry skin formulation. I think they make one for oily skin as well. This is the one I use because I wanted a bit of a natural finish, which is what it says here. It's also got SPF 20 in it. So again, yeah, you should be using SPF as part of, I'm not right now because it is a dark day and I just feel like I'm gonna have enough layers on as it is, plus the concealer, plus this. Just gonna go ahead and use this. I like to put a little bit on my hands. It's been a while since I've made a straight up beauty video, people. I usually make hair content, as you guys know. I talk about my different experiences using hair loss stuff like Rogaine. I test a whole bunch of shampoos and stuff like that. So even if you don't have issues with your hair, sometimes it's fun just to look at shampoo reviews. So I will link those up. Go ahead and watch those if you want. But got a bit of now just my regular foundation. I'm just gonna go in. I like to use a brush. I like this one. This is an Real Techniques 101 brush, and I think they say it's for skincare and stuff like that. I think you're supposed to put on primer and stuff like that, but I like to use it for foundation. It's actually really nice and soft and inexpensive, just how I like my brushes. I'm just gonna go in there, and I always go here first, so I just always go in like this. I have put on a little bit of eyeliner and a little bit of eyebrow just so that I do not frighten you. So, but I didn't put on any foundation. So then I'm just gonna brush over these areas and it will cling. I mean, the foundation will cling to the concealer. The concealer is very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like putting primer, when you put that white layer of primer on the wall, that's sort of what, in a way, the concealer does. So actually, that wasn't enough. But you can see it's already looking not bad, right? I'm gonna put on a little bit more. I am mixing them, just, I don't know. I don't have to, I could just use one or the other. They're so close. Like this, the good thing about this Revlon Colorstay stuff is they make quite a variety. In fact, maybe too much. It's actually kind of hard to decide what your shade is. And we're in the time of the pandemic now, so it's not like they're letting you try it. So you have to kind of buy it and then try it, which kind of sucks. But on the other hand, I guess it's better than having no access to foundation. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead, buff this in, and I'm gonna do that off camera because how boring is that? But I'm gonna just finish buffing this. It'll probably take me another 30 seconds. So I'll be right back. I've just been stippling away here, not the whole time, but just kind of looking at my emails, letting this dry a bit and then going back. You can take your time a bit with the foundation. Sometimes you do need to let the layers dry down, so you need to use, you need to have a little bit of patience. That would be my suggestion. Look at that, it's so much better. Look at that. Right? Much less red compared to the beginning. Have a look there. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup. I just wanted to show you that. I think you did a really good job of covering up the red. That's how you can do it. You just really need to moisturize. Don't forget to conceal, let that dry. And if you can't conceal, use a stick foundation. Let it dry, 2 minutes I would say, and then go in on top with your foundation. These are pretty full coverage. I would say stay away from the lightest stuff that you own. Sometimes it doesn't cover that well, so go for a more medium coverage type foundation. Your like BB cream, that kind of stuff is not gonna do it. It's not gonna cover it as well. So you need to go in with your more heavy or medium coverage type stuff. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that looks. I'm gonna finish my makeup and I'm gonna get on with my day. I just thought I would make this quick video for you. So I hope you liked it. Be sure to like, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.